All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk about combining like terms. And before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about what a term is. Okay, a term is the smallest part of an equation. Okay, it is going to be separated by plus and minus signs. Okay, so for example, let's go through and look at this problem right here to see how many terms it actually has. We're going to go through and I'm going to go ahead and draw, and hopefully it works this time. We'll make this rather large. But I'm going to go through and in red, I'm going to show you where it is separated. So starting out, basically all I'm going to do is draw a line that goes through each term. I'm going to draw it before I hit that plus or minus sign. So right here, I'm going to draw a line there. I'm going to draw another line right here after that Y. I'm drawing another line right here. I'm drawing a line right here. And as you can see, I separated those by the plus and minus sign. So when I go through and figure out how many terms there are, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Okay? So again, a term is the smallest part of an equation separated by a plus and minus sign. And here's the thing, because I've got that 4x, that's one term. I've got my 3y, that's another term. Well, -7, even though we would usually do say at a -7, -7 is another term. Positive 5x is another term, and 3 is another term that we have in there. And so the next part about this is we're going to talk about what like terms are. So like terms going in here, like terms have the same variable to the same power. So when I'm going through and figuring out what my like terms are for this, I'm going to go through and just circle the terms. I'm looking for like terms for 4x. And so what I'm looking for is any number that has an x just to a power. So looking through 5x, well, it has an x. So that's going to be one of my like terms. 3x, that has an x. So it's same variable, same power. Okay. 4, even though I have a 4 there, that's not what makes it the same. And remember, we talked about that yesterday. I said, okay, think of like terms as terms that are on the same team. This X is the uniform that 4 is wearing, okay? And like I think of baseball. In baseball, you have a pitcher, okay? Well, this is the pitcher on that team. This is a pitcher on another team, okay? So this is one pitcher. This is a different pitcher. This is a pitcher on the other team. So it's not on the same team as X. Okay. 5y. 5y is not like 4x because it doesn't have the same term. Again, 4y, that's just a pitcher on another team. It is not on the same team as 4x because it doesn't have the same variable. Okay. Going through 1/2 is not like 4x because it doesn't have a variable. Now it is a term, but it's not the same as that 4x. 1/2 x is like 4x. Even though that's a fraction, you might think that it's not like 4x, but because it's got that x, that's what we're looking for. We only are looking for if it has the same variable to the same power. That's what makes it on the same team. Over here, we have 4x squared. Well, again, I might have similar uniforms, but that doesn't make them on the same team. It's like the Reds and the Red Sox, okay? The Reds and the Red Sox are two different teams. They might have similar uniforms, but they are not the same team. They're both red, but they're not the same team. And finally, I have negative x. Now remember, this just means negative 1x, and we talked about that when we did solving 1 and 2 step equations. But this is going to be a like term for 4x. Okay, so know that a like term, we're looking for same variable to the same power. Going into the next step for this, and this is all review, going into the next step, we're now going to talk about, okay, well, how do I combine like terms? So the first thing that I do is I go through literally every time and I sort through to figure out what my like terms are. So we're going to go ahead and do this just a little bit darker. I'm going to do it in red just to sort it. So every time that I see a plus or minus sign, I'm going to draw a line because I know that those are my terms. So here I've got 4 terms. I start with the term to the very left and I literally just start sorting. Every time that I get to a term that is not like 10x or is not like another one that I've chosen, I do a new column. So I'm going to start 10x. I'm going to write it here. Okay. Well, I've used that. We're going to cross it out. Next, I have negative 8x. Well, look over here. It is like 10x because we have that same variable to the same power. So I'm going to have negative 8x here. Okay. And I've used it, so I'm crossing it out. Well, next I have positive 2. I don't have a variable with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start a new column and I'm going to put my 2 there. Okay. Because it is not like 10x. It doesn't have a variable. So I've used that one. I'm crossing it out. Well, finally, now I have positive 10. So I'm going to go through and I look over here. Well, it's not like 10x because it doesn't have a variable. It is like 2 because 2 doesn't have a variable either, so I can put those together. When I say that I'm combining like terms, that just means that I'm going to go through and I am going to add the terms together. So here I am saying, okay, I have got 10x plus negative 8 or 10x minus 8, and I end up with negative 2x, I'm sorry, positive 2x. I was adding wrong. That was my bad. So I do 10x plus negative 8, I get positive 2x. I do 2 plus 10, and I get 12. So those are my terms. When I'm writing the expression, the new expression, the simplified expression, I just write whatever sign goes with it. So I know this is positive 12. I know that's positive 2x. I could either write it as 2x plus 12, or I can write it as 12 plus 2x. It doesn't matter which order as long as you have the correct signs there. Okay, let's do another one. We're going to go to the next one. So my next one, again, that first step that I do is I draw a line to show my separation. So, and also so that I can easily see the sign that goes with each number. That helps me out when I combine the terms. So now I'm going to go through and sort them. So I start again left to right. I start with 8k. Okay, and that's my first term. So I've used that. I go to my second term, which is 2. Well, that's not like 8k. It doesn't have the same variable to the same power, so I'm going to put my 2 here. I have positive 4k, so I'm going to go ahead and look there. Well, it has the same variable to the same power, so I'm going to go ahead and write my 4k here. Okay, next I have negative 3k. And remember, I said earlier in some earlier videos, that sign has to be included when you're sorting them. That's why I separate it by there. So I'm going to put negative 3k here. Okay, and so I've used all these, so I cross them out. And then I have positive 5. Well, positive 5 doesn't have the variable k, but it does have it, but it has a lack of a variable like 2. So I'm going to put that in the same column. Okay, the next thing I do when I say combine like terms, I'm just adding the terms together. So I can change the color there. I'm going to go ahead and change this to blue. Okay, so when I add them, I'm going to go through and I'm saying 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, 12 plus negative 3 or 12 minus 3 is going to be 9k. Okay, here I'm going to do 2 plus 5. Well, 2 plus 5 is 7. And I know both of these are positive, so I could write them in any order, but I just need to make sure I include the sign. So I've got 9k plus 7, or if you write it in a different order, I could do 7 plus 9k. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you on through the lesson. What I've done is we've put together some activities for you to do. And then what you'll do after that is you'll go through and you'll check them because we've done the check. At the very end of the lesson, you will go ahead and you'll do a quick check just to review to see where you're at. And then you'll do an independent practice that will help you to see if you have a full understanding of this.